Hello everybody and welcome back to our channel. Today we are having an interior design talk about how to choose recliner sofas. Let's dive in. A recliner sofa or relax sofa is a sofa with special relax features either on the seat, on the backrests, on the armrests, with movements, mechanisms meant to adjust or move these elements in order to accommodate every user's personal needs. We can differentiate recliner sofas either by the type of movement or by the power that activates these movements and mechanisms. We start with the proper recliner sofas, where we have the lower part of the seat, which does open up and it does raise the user's legs, and normally also the backrest moves backward in order to make a very comfortable position. Let's start with the Prado model, and here we see how it works. So it does raise the user's legs and the backrest goes down. And here we see the exact workings of the mechanism. Here you can imagine that an armrest has been removed, so we can see inside. You can also see that the lower part of the seat does go down and moves forward, just like the backrest moves forward. We move on with the Marvel sofa, and here we see a different model with the same exact recliner sofa mechanism. And in this sequence, we see the different stages of the movement. And here at the final stage, we can imagine being in business class in a long international flight. And we can imagine how this way of sitting is super comfortable. For example, when you are taking a nap, frontally, you are basically perpendicular in relation to the sofa. And for example, when you're watching television in full relax. Let's move on to relax sofas with pull-out seats, where the seat depth is actually increased by the movement of the seat itself. You can find relax sofas where the pull-out seats are off the ground when they are opened. And for example, we can see the Foster model with high feet and an overall modern design. And here you see how the seat, when it's opened, actually is off the ground. Or we can see, for example, the Newport model with an overall similar design. And here you see the same concept of the pull-out seat. Or you can find other relax sofas with pull-out seats where the seats actually rest on the ground when they're pulled out, like the Nevis sofa. You see that you don't see the hidden wheels, but the seat is actually resting on the ground. And you can find the same approach on the Attitude sofa, which appears to be resting on the ground. And when you pull out the seats, it works this way. And it's especially interesting the way it's built. You see it in this sequence where you actually have independent seats with their own wheels. So let's comment the differences between proper standard recliners and relax sofas with pull-out seats. Well, first of all, proper recliner sofas, I would say they are more comfortable when you sit frontally and you watch television, while relax sofas with pull-out seats are slightly, I would say, less comfortable when you're sitting frontally, because basically you can rest your legs, but normally the backrests move less than in comparison with proper recliner sofas. But at the same time, the pull-out seats do create a flat, even surface, and this means that you are very comfortable when you sit diagonally, resting your legs, or when you're sitting with your family. You might play cards, you might read a book, you might change your position, you might play your ukulele, you might also sleep horizontally in relation to the sofa, and it can be used as an emergency bed. They're not proper sofa beds, but for a guest we're staying for a night or two, they can work fine. Let's talk about the power that activates the different mechanisms. And you can go manual and you normally pull a lever or actually raise and pull out the seat. Or you can go electrical and you can get a motor inside the sofa which activates the mechanism. Do you prefer manual recliner sofas or motorized recliner sofas? Write it in the comments. Manual movements, of course, are cheaper and they might be more reliable in the long term. By more reliable, what I mean is that even when we consider a very high-end recliner sofa, still when you have mechanical parts, electrical parts, after 10, 15, 20 years, well, maybe you might have already changed your sofa, but if you are treating your sofa well enough and it's good quality, it can last for many years. And mechanical parts or electrical parts might fail sooner than a manual mechanism. So this is something to take into consideration. On the other hand, if you want to get a motorized recliner sofa, you must check that you have electricity, you have a socket in the spot where you're going to position your sofa. Or if you don't have it, you need to check that the sofa that you're considering to purchase does offer a version with rechargeable batteries. Some models of recliner sofas even offer a wireless control for their motorized versions. Before shooting the video, I could not get to think about how I could use a wireless control for the motor of my recliner sofa. If you have an idea, write it in the comments. A special mention for recliner sofas with the riser mechanism. And here we see what it is, because it's meant to help elderly people and disabled people to stand up and sit down without any help. Let's talk about adjustable backrests. They can either be foldable or reclining backrests, or they can be sliding backrests. Let's see how they work. Let's start with relaxed sofas with foldable backrests or reclining backrests, and we start with the Exeter sofa, and here we see how the backrest can be folded towards the front, so that when it's toward the back, you have more support for the neck, and when it's pulled forward, you can actually have this sort of formal but very comfortable position. Formal because you don't rest your back, your high back or your neck, but very comfortable because it's very comfy and soft and welcoming. And you also have this middle position, which is very good for the neck. We have the same concept with the Heritage model, with the back pulled toward the front or pushed towards the back. And here we see the different sitting style, more formal or more targeted towards full comfort. And we see yet again the same concept with the Monterey sofa. And here we see it yet again, very welcoming and comfortable. Let's review yet again some models that we have already seen, like the Foster sofas, but now we focus on the backrest. And here we see a single cushion, which starting from the back can be folded towards the front. And we see a similar concept here with the Nevis sofa. It's just that here we see that the armrest itself actually shares the same mechanism of the backrest. And this is the meaning of it, because you can actually sit horizontally on the sofa. You can use the low backrest as it had been an armrest, and you can use the raised armrest as if it were a backrest. And we see the same concept with the Newport sofa. And for example, every backrest can have its own position. And this is also very good for the customization that you get in the family. I might like it in a certain position, and my wife might like it in another position. No pun intended. One thing about relaxed sofas with foldable backrests and reclining backrest is that many clients do like sofas with a minimal look because of their own personal preference, or maybe because they have their sofa in the middle of the room. On the other hand, there are clients who are looking for very comfortable sofas, and the very comfortable sofas are those most often that do support your high back and your neck. And so these models which have this mechanism where you can have a low profile when you want it, and you can raise your backrest when you want it, they actually give added value. We finally get to relaxed sofas with sliding backrests, and here we see the Leighton sofa with its big platform, on top of which we have these movable backrests. We have the standard position, which gives you a standard depth for the seat, and then you can slide back these backrests, and here we see the different positions, the more informal one when you can rest your legs onto the sofa, and the more formal position. And this is the sort of movement. We can see it on different models. For example, here we see the Axel sofa. And finally, with a higher backrest, we can see it on the Morris sofa. One additional comment about these relax sofas with sliding backrest is that you must take into consideration that most often these sort of models do change their overall depth based on the position of the backrest. So they are perfect when you place them in the middle of the room, and when you consider placing them near a wall, you must consider that you cannot place them against the wall, otherwise you would not have enough space to push the backrest out of the edge of the perimeter of the sofa itself. So we've come to the end of this overall description of all the possibilities for recliner sofas and relax sofas. What is your idea of comfort? I think it's personal. It's very interesting to get to know your own idea of sofa comfort. You stayed with us till the end, so you need a big round of applause. Thanks very much from all the team. I hope that you liked this interior design talk about recliner sofas and relax sofas in general. I hope that it can help you choosing your own dream relax sofa, and see you next time for the next interior design talk at diotti.com. Bye bye.